So today I'm going to be showing you the top 10 things to know when you're starting Fortnite. And the most important thing that you basically, even if you don't play Fortnite, you probably know this mechanic, I guess, and that is a building. And this is like, other than weapons, this is the main thing you'll use for like player made maps, battle royale, and everything like that. There's a zero build, but that doesn't have builds in it, where you can build, but it's not all that great. But for building, when you're starting out the game, you're gonna want to work on improving the speed and the efficiency of your building before you progress too far into Fortnite. Because if if you're good at shooting other enemies, but you can't build, then that's gonna leave you with a huge disadvantage later down the line. Next up, we actually have communicating with your teammates, and this is extremely important if you're playing anything like duos, trios, and squads, along with like any team-based player-made map. Although the team-based player-made maps, it might not be as important, but it'll still be pretty important. And if you're uncomfortable with communicating with your teammates, there are also things like markers, which will have like a specific icon for things like indicating that there's loot, there's enemies nearby, there's materials for building, and many other things like that. And yeah, that is number two. And number three is editing builds. It's one thing that you can build structure, your structures, and you're efficiently building them. But it's another thing to actually edit the builds. So you can, uh, you can edit it. You can edit the build to have little openings. So if you're in a build fight, you can open it up and shoot the enemy player. And I would recommend practicing this in places like just like the many building and editing practice maps, or just going into something like the pit on a private server and then building around while also editing, so you can truly put your editing skills into work without really having to fight enemies just yet. Number four is your loadout. This is extremely important because in every single map, player made or not, you're going to need a loadout to either eliminate enemies or complete whatever goals the map has set for you. For fighting enemies, so in terms of fighting enemies, to find out your best loadout, I would recommend the pit, which is the most popular PvP map, and also battle royale. So you're gonna be able to test out both new and old weapons, and you'll end up seeing what works best for you. And this will help you in the competitive scene, as now you will have your loadout that you will do well with. Now, number five, constant practice. I know from experience that if you do not play the game for literally only like 2, 3, or 4 days, you will notice a massive decline in your skills. So you're gonna want to practice like daily or bi-daily. So like you don't lose all these skills you've been learning over time. It doesn't have to be a long time. Like, it doesn't have to be a couple hours. It doesn't have to be like every single skill at once for the single day. You can just like do things like editing and fighting people for around 30 minutes to an hour one day, and then aiming and building another day, for like 30 minutes to an hour as well. And doing that would just like overall keep your skills um, intact and will probably allow you to progress a little faster. Now, actually, overtaking builds, and whenever I say overtaking builds, I mean like when you break a wall, cone, floor, or ramp, and you replace it with your own, which will then allow you to have the advantage because you can now edit that wall to your liking and attack the player. Now, for this, there's a couple different maps that you can practice this in, but the three that I would recommend are the pit, any piece control map, and then also battle royale. Like basically all of the things I talk about you can practice in the pit and battle royale. And now next up we have aiming. Aiming, like attacking your enemies, is like one thing, but actually winning against them is going to require proper aim and precision. So I would just recommend like any PvP map or battle royale as well to practice this skill, because like the reason this is so incredibly important, but it's not as high as the others, is because if you aim at an enemy's head and shoot them there, you will actually gain bonus damage points. So, and if it's from far away, you're gonna need good aiming. So you can overall just eliminate people from long distances and gain extra damage points to eliminate players faster. Now another one is never go unprepared. Like, this is one of the things, like going unprepared is something that will just not work out in battle royale, because you do not want to rush into fighting other players or just fighting other players in late game if you do not have good loot. And good loot is having at least blue rarity weapons, and in the most would be having the mythical weapons that you get from bosses around the map currently. So if you are unprepared with gray or green rarity weapons, I would recommend to avoid players and looting as many chests as you can so you can get rare or higher weapons. Now number nine, this is also like important for how you set up your loadout, and that is keeping your health up. Like in Fortnite, you typically have 100 base health and then an extra 100 health that is called shield. And keeping your health up will allow you to stay alive longer, because there's actually a storm to make sure the matches go by faster. So you will need heals to keep your health up if you ever get stuck in storm, or after you fought a player that has massively damaged you. and like so, like for player made maps that you would practice on, there are some that are gonna have like perks that will like constantly keep your health up, and I wouldn't exactly recommend those types of maps for practice and improving your skills, because other than the medallions that only heal your shield to a certain amount, um, you don't really have anything else that would constantly keep your health up. So I would recommend not playing those types of maps, and also for your loadout, um, you would need like um, so just at least some sort of heal item. There's things like med kits, which heal the base health. There's things like potions that heal the shield health, and then I there's also things like fish and vegetables that also heal for either shield or your base health, but those will not do as much as the potions or medkits. So there's also bandages, but those I do not recommend getting unless you're desperate. Finally, staying updated. Fort and this is because Fortnite gets updates all of the time. Like there are frequent updates. There's hot fixes as well that will add new weapons, maybe vault or remove some. So the loadouts are constantly changing. This all means you'll need to stay updated, on for all things Fortnite, so you don't fall behind other players. For me, things like checking Fortnite.com or some of the Fortnite social media accounts allow me to see the latest news on Fortnite weapons, map changes, etc., etc. And this will allow you to know what you will have to change. So, anyways, that is the top 10 things that you need to know when you are starting out in Fortnite. I hope this video was informative, and hope you have a good day.